The amount that we've been able to make on all of our homes is something that I never thought we would have coming in on the side.
For that first booking, we got $8,800 a month.
I didn't think that something so quickly could become our main thing. I just couldn't wrap my head around how you can make so much off of just one home. But going through all of this and learning about IMTR has really opened our eyes quite extensively.
We were netting $5,300 average a month, taking everything we put into the home, made everything back, our initial investment back within 2.5 months. And there's nothing like that. There's no other business really that you can do to be able to do that, especially in real estate. You know, take those risks because you've never done it. That first one is always the hardest. But once we got that first one, he'll tell you, yes, it was like a game. Like, let's do another one. I want to do another one.
Everything is a risk. It just depends on the angle in which you want to view it. A job is a risk. Like your boss could not like you tomorrow and you don't have a job. And then now what do you have?
Welcome, Shayler and Dominique, to another Vetted Homes show. We're super excited to have you guys here. You guys are Vetted Homes premium members and have been incredible in our community and helping so much. I'm just excited to have you guys on to get a little update. You guys have been a part of Vetted Homes running your IMTR for 2 years now. So let's talk about where you got started and kind of where you guys are now.
Sure. So we got started because of Jason and Jackie, the McClure. We're friends with them. And so we had kind of seen them do this life and have these homes. And I was always asking little tidbits here and there over the course of knowing them. But finally, because he had a good 6-figure income job at the time and he was happy and content, and so he likes to say, you know, when things are good, you don't look at other things. Whereas for me, I'm always like, I like their lifestyle. I like what they're doing. What are you doing? So, you know, I had little information here and there. And then eventually I remember sitting down with Jackie and I'm like, I'm recording this. And she laughed at me. She was like, good, record it. And got to just pick her brain a little bit. And then you guys were actually launching the course, I think a month after that conversation. So she had told me about it and I had talked to him about it. And a whole 6-7 months later, he finally said, okay, what is it that they're doing? And I remember telling him, I'm not calling her. I'm not texting her unless you're 100%. Because I feel like it's put your money where your mouth is at this point. So if you want to do it, we're going to do it. And at that time, I know he could share too, but he was up for a promotion and it was supposed to be a shoo-in and then he didn't get it. So that kind of helped drive and feed his desire to find something else.
Which is pretty typical of corporate America.
Yes. But that's kind of how we got introduced to Vetted Homes. How would you say the last 2 years have been?
Really great. I mean, the amount that we've been able to make on all of our homes is something that I never thought we would have coming in on the side. I mean, it's our main thing now. We have other things going as well, but I didn't think that something so quickly could become our main thing. If you would have asked me, you know, back when you guys first started Vetted Homes, if that's what it was, you know, this is what it would look like, would I have believed it? No, I wouldn't have. I just couldn't wrap my head around how you can make so much off of just one home. But going through all of this and learning about IMTR has really opened our eyes quite extensively. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep getting more homes and we're going to keep growing. So, yeah.
But yeah, so as an update of kind of where we're at, because I know we did do an interview, you know, about a year ago. So we have 3 homes right now. In our portfolio, and all of those we have through arbitrage. We don't own any of them, but our landlords love us. They're always asking, are you going to extend? Do you want to extend early? Hey, my friend has a house.
So many referrals.
We've had so many referrals. And sometimes we're like, yes, we were trying to do one for a 4th house and it kind of fell through. It's a pause. It's definitely not a no.
It's not a no.
He's totally open to it. He just had a couple of things come up. But so we definitely get lots of referrals from our landlords for that. And we have the 3 homes. All 3 are booked. We are in our 3rd home. Our family has not moved in yet. They move in this weekend. But we have a fire family in one that's been there. They'll be there 15 months right now. I know, Kelly, you always like to share numbers so we could be as real as possible.
I love it.
That one is our lowest profiting one. Most of the time, most companies include in utilities and things like that in our rent. This one was very specific. They could not have utilities included in the rent. So we had to kind of work around that. But that one is $6,300 a month. And so after we're in Texas, by the way, I'll say that,
Yes.
because rent is very different.
Yeah, our rent is not $6,300
Yes.
a month. I
No.
know some places it might be, but
Yes, like California where you're at. So we're in Texas. It's not crazy expensive. So our overhead is probably closer to $3,000. So we're still netting roughly $3,300 from that house. And like I said, that's our lowest profiting one. One of our other homes, we have a 3-month insurance family in there right now. That one we did go through a lease matcher. If you kind of know about MTR, I'm sure you've heard about lease matchers, you know. So we did go down on our rate quite a bit. It's probably the lowest we've ever taken for that home. So that one we have at $7,000 right now. But our profit is still $3,500 roughly. And then this home we just booked for $8,300 a month. And so that one will be closer to like $4,500 profit.
Yeah.
So all of it, I mean, those are great. We definitely have had them. A couple of vacancy. I know that's always the biggest thing when he talks to people is their biggest question is like, what is the
what is the biggest risk?
There you go.
So I talk about vacancy, but you control that really. I mean, it comes down to if you really want your price really, really high and you want 3x plus on your home, and that's not what the market's looking like, then you might sit for a while. But if you learn to be flexible, then you'll be booked a lot more often.
Yeah. And that's something we've definitely learned, especially over this last year. I know that it's be flexible. If we want to have them booked, if we want to have families in here, because at the end of the day, you always say it, we're in a hospitality business, not a money making. I mean, obviously, yes, we make money, but that's not our end goal. That's not our, I want top dollar.
That's not what
all
we
the
lead
time.
with.
Yeah. We want to help the families. We want to bless them. We want to be able to have them in here and do what we can for them. So, and I would say those are our current rates, but we've definitely, this house, like for instance, in the middle of winter, we took an insurance family for $6,500. So our profit was much lower. For us, though, it was how long do we want it to sit? I'd rather be making money and covering rent and making profit than not. So you definitely have those moments, but it has been consistent. It's been great. We've also opened other businesses from this since in the last year. So we have a design and furnishing business now, officially created a whole nother LLC. And we've done 4 homes. We're on our 5th home with that one. So that's taken up some of our time.
Yep.
And then we have started a spinoff of a cleaning business from this because a lot of our cleaners are always looking for work and can't fill their calendar. And so we're like, entrepreneurs solve problems. Let's solve another problem.
Yeah. Let's fill those calendars for them.
Yes. So we've definitely done quite a bit just from one arena that's kind of filled in from there.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, that's super exciting. And I love to see just kind of the doors that open for people and entrepreneurs in general. As you get started on things, you see what's the next problem? How can I solve it? And I love that. And you guys have done really, really well and been such an encouragement too to our community, those that are coming behind you and sharing your experience. And so I just love that and super thankful for you guys. What do you feel like is one of the biggest fears before you got started, and how do you think that you overcame that?
I mean, you're always going to have fear doing anything that you've never done before, and we've never been in real estate before. So I remember the first home, she was so afraid of signing the contract that put our name on a home.
Yeah.
When she's like, I've never done this before. I don't even know what it looks like to make money off of a home before. That was definitely a huge leap for her. I was ready to, I don't know. No, I was kind of on the same page to a degree. I just maybe handled it differently. Um, I'm much more of the risk taker than she is. She's usually very risk adverse, and I'm willing to take leaps of faith and figure it out. I'm always the type of person that's willing to jump off the edge of the cliff and build the plane on the way down. She's like, wait, it's not built yet. There's still bolts missing. But we figured it out, and it was what, 2 weeks that we got
I think
after we were done.
roughly from the first house. I know we talked about in our other call, but we got in October. We had it booked, I think, the first week of November, like the 5th or the 7th. So roughly 2 weeks, maybe 3. And they ended up staying for 7.5 months.
Yeah,
And that for that first booking, we got $8,800 a month. And so
we were netting over $5,000.
we were netting, 5,300 average a month. Taking everything we put into the home, we made made everything back, our initial investment back within 2.5 months. And there's nothing like that. There's no other business really that you can do to be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially in real estate.
So that really evaporated the fear aspect
Yes.
out of it really quickly, and then that's why we ended up getting in the house 2, and then 3, and
It kind of became a game, to be honest. I'm super risk adverse. So when I was like, oh my gosh, I have to sign this paper. Is this going to work? I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. Okay, we're just going to go for it. I'm going to trust Jackie. I'm going to trust them. And have you ever heard of that game, Cash Flow?
Yes, I have it. But my family won't play it with me. It's the saddest thing ever. I was so excited. Sorry, little side note about cash flow.
no, you're good.
I want you to come over and play with me. We started it one time, and then our kids were like, this is kind of boring. And I was so excited. I think it was actually Mother's Day, because I was like, I can trump all y'all. It's Mother's Day. We're playing cash flow. And then I think we got partway in, and then it was like, oh, I'm going to grab a snack. And then all of a sudden we all end up in the kitchen, and nobody wants to come out and play the game with me. But I want to hear about it. Tell me a little more about the game, or what you want to say.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it really shows your personalities in that game, because it's all about, getting ahead and getting out of the rat race. And so we joke because we played that game with Jackie and Jason was like,
He's
I
the reigning
always
champ.
win.
Yeah, he's like, I always win. And I'm like,
So Shayler actually won that night. And I
That's
joke because I'm like, okay, I really am risk adverse, and he really is a risk taker. I need to default, and okay, babe, what else should we do? And this was before we joined Vetted. So when I shared everything and he saw that I was on board, he was like, okay, let's go for it. But I constantly remind myself, okay, Dominique, don't be risk averse. Don't be like the rat race with cash flow. Take those risks. And so we definitely, because you've never done it, I remember Jason telling us this, because you've never done it, that first one is always the hardest. Absolutely. But once we got that first one, he'll tell you, yes, it was like a game, like, let's do another one. I want to do another one.
yeah. And the way that I see it too is everything is a risk. It just depends on the angle in which you want to view it. I mean, a job is a risk. Like your boss could not like you tomorrow and you don't have a job. I mean, and then now what do you have? So everything truly is a risk. It just depends on the angle in which you're willing to look at it from. So this is just a different type of risk. And I think the greater the risk, the greater the reward. And we were willing to just do whatever it took. So I'd say it's well worth it.
Yes.
I love it. So let's talk a little bit, going back just about the Vetted Homes Blueprint and what you guys thought about it, and how, just what you learned from it and how it impacted your business.
I mean, we wouldn't do anything that we do without it. I would have no idea where to start. We'd have no compass, no roadmap, no guidance. And to be honest, I don't believe I would have started this. I really wouldn't, because if I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't have anybody showing me how to do it or willing to hold our hand, it makes it much more difficult. That's why I always commend, Jackie and Jason for starting out the way that they did, because they embarked on a journey where they didn't have someone else to really pull all of this from. They learned all of this along the way. So the fact that we're able to take all of that information, and I'd said this the other day to you, in a way, it's fast tracked us. So without it, we wouldn't be where we're standing. Yeah.
And I say too, like people, there's so much value in information. I know we're an information driven culture right now, but at the same time, people will pay big money to spend time with all these great entrepreneurs. You're getting that in the blueprint. Like you're taking all four of your brains, everything you've learned over the last, 13 years or something, and all of the pitfalls and all of the things that you've had to figure out. And you get to learn that from day one so that you don't have to repeat that. That's why he's saying it fast tracked us, because it really did. But I would say I'm super detail oriented. So I loved all the resources. I loved all the Excel spreadsheets and checklists and what to put in a home, because then it takes that off your brain where you don't have to think about it. It's already done for you.
Yeah.
And you just have your shopping list, you have like okay, I did this. All right, great.
Yeah.
And I would say the biggest thing though that we also, I wouldn't say as a takeaway, but that I would tell people is, if they tell you to do something a certain way, it's because they've proven it works. Like,
say it again for the people in the back.
If they tell you to do something a certain way, it's because it works. He says it all the time. What do you call it? Sometimes it's human error, because okay, maybe they said it this way, but I'm going to try it this way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll hear some people go, "Oh, I've done it and it doesn't work," and I'm going, "Well, it's funny because I did it and it worked. So what are you not doing?" And a lot of times it's, we find that, people want to do it their own way. So they'll take aspects of what they're taught and then they'll mix in the way they want to do it. And it doesn't always work. We always heard somebody tell us we've heard it said one time where, if you're making a batch of cookies and then you want to take out things here and there and then have the audacity to say that your cookies suck and this is not fair, I did it. You messed it up, man. You jacked up the recipe. You changed it all up, so you get crappy cookies. Like it's what you get. And we've heard it said too. Like if you really want to be where somebody else is at, you have to take your brain out for a moment and put theirs in and think like they do in order to have what they have. Because clearly, the thinking that we've had up to that point got us to where we were at. And if we want to go to another level, sometimes we have to take on how someone else thinks. So that's what we got when we're going through the course and the blueprint and then the calls and everything. So, yeah.
That's awesome. No, I love that. And so much of it is even just a mindset shift too. And thinking like, why was this such a roadblock for me? And then when you actually overcome that, you see like, wow, there's so much more I can do and things that I can try. And I don't know, at the end of the day, I don't know how you guys are as a couple, but like Jason and I together, I know he supports me. So if I take a risk and I end up failing, it's not actually failing. I'm learning from that and I'm taking a different direction as I move forward. And so once you view it differently, you're like, I can actually learn something from this and be better next time. I don't know. I just know at the end of the day, he never would say to me like, babe, why did you do that? That's not a good choice. I mean, he might have some wisdom of like, maybe you should try this instead, or guide me for sure. But I love the mindset shift and surrounding yourself with people, like you said, who have already done it or who are ahead of you or who helps challenge your thinking and helps you think outside of the box or encourages you to do something that you don't really think, I'm not really good at that, or I can't do it, but it's take the risk, try, and you don't know until you do it. And then a lot of times, most people, they surprise themselves. I feel like that's a huge thing in our community. Everyone's kind of like, I don't know if I can do this. And that's where I say, you can do this and you can actually do more than you think that you can. And then, I mean, so many of those people that struggled or were like, I'm not sure, are now the ones in our community that are helping everybody because they did overcome those challenges. They realized they can be successful and now they're helping everybody else. So I love that too. So thanks for sharing that. That's really cool. Okay. I want to ask just like what a typical month looks like for you now as like an MTR host with like your business and your family. So you have the 3 properties. I know you guys are running your business, helping other people furnish their properties and then working on your new, the like distance. How would you describe that one that you're doing? Like virtually helping people set up their homes as well? But what does it
Yeah.
look like a month for you guys as a family in IMTRs?
Yeah.
I think it depends if they're vacant or not.
Yes,
Hmm.
totally.
If
Yep.
they're not vacant, it's like smooth sailing. We
Hmm.
don't have to think about it. We don't have to. I mean, we hardly ever get calls for our homes. Randomly, maybe one like, hey, the toilet's not flushing or it's taking forever to fill. That was one we had
The
this
towel
month.
rack's coming off.
Yeah, this month. Or yeah, the towel rack is kind of coming loose, like little minute things that we can deal with easily, no problem, or send a plumber out. But as far as like, I mean, we homeschool. So we
Yeah, I was gonna say.
homeschool. Right now, yes, it's summer, so we kind of aren't, but typically we're doing homeschool every morning. We also have a faith, so we usually start our mornings with like a Bible study and then we do our homeschool. My goal is to have all of that done by lunchtime. It doesn't always happen, especially because we have a 3-year-old.
Hmm.
So we have one that would be considered like high school level. We have like a middle school level and an elementary, and then our 3-year-old. So usually he's in the office handling whatever needs to be handled that morning for business
Hmm.
stuff. I'm doing homeschool. And then we kind of just have whatever else we have planned
Yeah.
with regular life.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to
Yeah.
add.
Yeah. I mean, like she said, I'm in the office typically around 2, 3 o'clock. She's coming and asking if I'm done for the day.
Familiar.
Usually it's because her capacity is about reached with the boys,
It is, yeah.
and she needs help with that. But um, I mean, for the most part, it's pretty easygoing. But even when the properties are vacant, really, it's I don't even see the word scrambling is a word for it, but we just okay, we get into motion. We get the cleaners scheduled to go out there. We make sure that we have all everything purchased and ready to go for the next family that's going to move in. We'll start sending out emails, but really, that's what, a day or two of
Mhm.
Yeah,
work.
and it doesn't take long. Like
No.
I'll update all of the websites, some of them nightly, some of them, a couple times a week. We'll send out emails. I use the in our email where you could like schedule a send. So
Hmm.
I'm up after the kids go to bed and then I create everything and schedule my emails. So it's not a lot of work. I would say it's very part-time work, like very part-time.
Hmm.
And obviously, we only have 3 right now, so it is a little bit different. Now, if we have a month where we're furnishing a home, that's definitely different for that business because then my brain is constantly, okay, I got to put this together and I curate. We'll go, depending where it's at, we'll drive there, we'll see the property, we'll take a video, we take measurements, we come back, we put together 3D renderings of the
Hmm.
home of each room. We put together a video. So that obviously does take time.
Sure.
And then we source everything. We source all the furniture.
Hmm.
And then we go up there to wherever it is. And we're usually there depending on what the client has picked for the package because we have different tiers of just furnishing or if you want electronics involved, things like that. Roughly
Cleaners,
7 days
photography.
ish, 7 to 9 days depending.
Hmm.
And we take our family, so we take them with us. They're our worker bees, and we pay them for it, and we're still together doing
Yeah.
stuff. So that's a month if we're furnishing a home for sure. That
Hmm.
is going to be a little bit more hands-on and work.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't know if that answers all of what you
No,
were looking.
yeah, no, that's great. I like to see the balance and I like sharing with people, real life, what it looks like running an IMTR because I feel like that's the hardest part to explain to people because it sounds so overwhelming at first. Like I have to
Hmm.
furnish a home and then I have to do all this paperwork or list on all these properties and do all this emailing and all the things that we do. But that's where I always say, like, yes, it's upfront, it's work. I mean, we can't any of us expect to get paid for doing nothing, not doing work.
Yeah.
So, and it's
Yeah.
good to work also and work hard. But the upfront, once that's done, that's like what you were saying. I barely hear from the families. And, we have good systems in place that we've shared in our blueprint of how to, create a card website so that people walk in, they know exactly what to expect in the home. And so they have all the information they need and just the systems in
Yeah.
place. When the turnover happens, it is like a 2-day process. You're getting the cleaners in, sending all the stuff there for them to put in the house, checking on everything. But then after that, you're right. It is just so much more calm. You don't really do a whole lot, honestly. So I think it's not as intimidating as it sounds, especially when you have something like the blueprint that walks you through how to do every step as you go.
Yes.
So
Agreed. Yeah.
yeah. So, okay, let's move in a little bit to our school community. So we have a community, a Vetted Homes community it's called School, SKOOL. I think it's one of the most fascinating and fantastic platforms. I'm every day impressed with all that it has on there, but being able to just host a community has been incredible. And then all of the ways that we can have our courses on there, and then we can have our map for lead sharing on there. We sell merchandise now, Vetted Homes hats, because we have created a fundraiser where we help families in need, and many other things. And you guys can chime in too to share the other things that are on there. But my favorite part is that we have a community doing like-minded people doing real estate investors, newbies, people have been doing it for years, just all chiming in to help each other. And I think it's one of the neatest platforms that I've been a part of. But I'd love to talk just about even the school community and kind of is there something like you got from the school community that you could not have figured out alone? Or just what are the benefits of it for you guys?
Yeah. I'm gathering my thought. You go ahead. And then,
Well, I know he talks about it a lot, that you get to bounce ideas off of people. So not only, obviously the blueprint is the course, but the community is all the people you gain access to.
yeah. The fact that you can go on there and then ask a question, have someone answer, and give really good, sound advice on how to handle things. We've done it too. Luis is,
A member in the
in the
community.
community, and, he posts really awesome stuff on, how he structures things. And there are things that we talk about it every single time we see it. We go, babe, we really need to do this. We really need to do this, because I love the way he structures everything and kind of puts everything together. But the fact that we're sharing all of this information with each other, we learn things that we otherwise wouldn't know how to do, right? And even if we're not necessarily the one asking the question, just the fact that the information is there, like we weren't the one asking about structure, but the fact that we get to see the answer, it causes you to think differently, which is a real, it is something that otherwise we wouldn't have had access to.
We've also made friends from there.
Yes.
So we've met people that are local in our area and been able to meet up with them and connect with them. And so that's also cool, because it's different people that you get to connect with that you didn't know before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I know it's so, being just around people doing real estate, we don't have that in our family. Like we don't have anybody. Well, I take that back. Now we do, because we've encouraged a couple of them to join in and do IMTRs with us, but we don't have anyone else doing different real estate avenues in our family, or even in my close knit friend circle, like in our community. And so it's really neat to get around people who are challenging you to think bigger and more and better. And that doesn't necessarily mean, filling your plate or your life with chaos. Like one of the things that the more and better is actually, how do I have more time with my family and more freedom? This is a better avenue for us, because we can work less and make more money. And so I love being around our community. I learn something every day from our community, honestly. And it's so great. Like I love learning. I can humble myself to say, I didn't know that, or I don't know the answer to this, but that other people can provide value is so incredible. Yeah. I just think I always want to be like a lifelong learner, and I'm a nerd like that too. Love reading.
Yes. And he's a little competitive. So because you guys have in the school community,
from
like
day one,
different,
I'm like, number one, baby. That's what I'm aiming.
The leaderboard. Yes.
Yes. The leaderboard. I was trying to remember what it's called. So he's always like trying to check on everything, but it stems from the same thing. He loves learning. He loves helping people. And I think that's so cool about that as well, is that sometimes it is a little game too.
And I think what I like about it, in the beginning I didn't like it, was I'm going, well, what was it? just liking things or contributing to things don't give you points. Like you actually have to give something, and people have to like thumbs it up or comment or things like that to it for that to count. So in the beginning, I'm like, oh, what? Okay, fine. You know, it just forces you to be more involved, which I've really come to enjoy.
Yes.
We appreciate that you're in there and giving valuable feedback. You guys have both provided so much value to our community. So that we're really, really thankful for. So let's talk about something a little bit different. What is actually the hardest part of IMTRs for you guys? Let's keep it real.
I would say the hardest part personally is just finding a good location. And what I mean by that is you can find a good area. I want to say location. I would say the perfect home sometimes can be a
But I
harder
think
thing.
it's also too because we arbitrage, so it's a little different.
Exactly. You know, it's not like you know, we're buying a home and there's tons of homes on the market, you know, all on the same street. There's 3 homes for sale, 4 homes for sale. And obviously when you buy a home, you can, as long as you're abiding to HOA's rules, you can do whatever you want. No one's going to tell you no. But landlords,
And our goal is to buy.
our goal is 100% to buy.
But this is how we start.
But with arbitraging, I would say that's the biggest hurdle is getting the landlord on board. And I'm more than willing to do that. But sometimes you can find the perfect home in the perfect location, and the landlord is just not okay with you doing what you're going to do. And you have to be okay with that and flow. But I would say once we actually have the property, it kind of becomes more streamlined for us. We already know what to do,
Yeah.
you know, when to get things done by. So personally, that's what I would say. I don't know about
That's
you,
his hardest part. He's the one that deals with all that. I think the hardest thing for me,
deadline.
sometimes I put a deadline on myself because I know otherwise I will take my time.
Okay.
So I always put a deadline on myself, and it definitely does push me to my limit of trying to get these houses done and rented out. But I think for me, it's more being okay with everything not being perfect, if that makes sense. So I want to make sure like everything in the home is perfect. Everything in the home is put together and clean and this and that. And if I don't like something, I'm automatically, I don't like this. What if the family doesn't like this? So I've had to learn how to get out of my own head in that way and not care so much about every single detail. Because ultimately these families are just so happy to have a home, and they're so happy to have someone to listen to them or to be there for them.
And that doesn't mean cut corners.
No, not cut corners, but I very much have like that perfectionist personality. So that's something that I've had to learn to kind of let go a little bit. Otherwise we would take forever to do a home.
Yeah, I mean, even when the home is cleaned, you know, I come in, I'm like, yep, everything looks great, and then she's like moving things, like, oh, this isn't quite where it needs to be. This needs to be fixed. This is supposed to go here, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it looks great. I would have said, all right, we're good to go. You can move in tomorrow.
Like the other night, as an example, we noticed the cleaners left the lights on in this house, and we were on vacation, so the light was on for a week. And I was like, hey, you need to go turn off the light. And there was a notice because we left our trash cans on the corner and take off that notice. So he came, he was like, are you going to go with me? And it was like 10:30 at night or something. I was like, nope. He's like, why? You don't want to go for a drive? Nope, because I am not just going to walk in that house. I'm going to go through and check everything. So he just came, turned it off, and then we came before we had a tour yesterday. But yes, that's what I mean by the perfectionism side.
I love that. I mean, I hear you. And it's good. It's like we grow in different areas and we realize some things they don't have to be perfect. And I think that's just good in life in general. I mean, I've definitely learned that as I raised 3 children, that the way I thought things sometimes were going to be aren't always that way. And so you have to ebb and flow and be flexible with it. So, speaking of kiddos, I'd love to hear kind of just how you guys have implemented your family joining you and some of the maybe the lessons that you feel like they're learning, or as they're watching you and coming alongside you in this process. I know they're a little bit younger, some of them, but maybe the older ones.
I will say our oldest is 15. So when we started this, well, he just turned 15. He was what? 13? 13. So he's always been a little bit more hands-on. So he's helped us every step of the way, building beds, putting things together. He loves woodworking. The dining table in this house, he sanded it all down, refinished it with poly, different things like that as far as like DIY stuff. Our 12-year-old, almost 13, he likes to remind me I'm almost 13. He's been more of our babysitter with the younger two. And he does great. He has such a fun personality where he just wants to play all the time. So that like works perfect for us. And because all of our homes are nearby and within driving distance, there have been times where we go on our own and we do stuff, after the kids go to bed and things like that. But we've definitely incorporated them in getting the homes up and running. I would say in the day to day, this is my weakness. I am always telling him like, babe, okay, we've been working, we've been doing all these emails, or whatever, let's just focus on the kids. And his thing is always, no, we can't, like they need to see us work too. It's just because, yes, we have this business and we have all this free time more than most people. Like they also need to see that you work for it, that it doesn't just come easy.
You can't just like sit on a lawn chair and do nothing.
Yeah.
They're we want to instill work ethic in them. We want them to see that they have to work for things and that money doesn't just grow in trees, like my mom would say. And I'm sure a lot of us have heard our parents say that to us, but it's true. You have to work for it. So we want to make sure that we instill that in them at a really young age. That's why we employ them to do things with us. We don't just let them sit around and do nothing. But when it comes to the day to day, they have to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say in a bigger picture, they've seen us take risk. They've seen us do so many different businesses over the course of our marriage. We've done multi-level marketing. We've done all kinds of businesses that you could think of. And he's very entrepreneurial. And so they have
Some worked
seen
out, some didn't.
they have seen that over the course of our marriage and the journey. And so they also see the difference and they see the time freedom that it has brought us. And so our 15-year-old already is telling us like, when can I get in on a house with you guys? I want to be able to make profit. And you guys, I know you brought in your oldest son on a home and like, so the fact that he's switching his mindset and we're already telling him, okay, hey, you're almost 16. Technically, he could probably own a business. He does have like a woodworking business right now, but we're trying to train him. Okay, that's great, but that's active income. You have to make all the products. You have to make the cutting boards. You have to make all these things. Let's switch and find something more passive. So he definitely wants to work his way up to have a home with us, but we're also trying to teach him what else could you create, because his mindset is like, I'm getting married at 18. We're like, if that doesn't happen, that's okay.
Oh my gosh, that's cute.
But yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know it's so neat to involve our kids and let them experience, the hard work part of it, and then seeing even after, they help us furnish it, but looking at it when it's all finished, it's like, this place is amazing. I know my kids are always like, our rentals are really nice, Mom. And I'm like, I know, I like to go retreat over there because here all your crap is everywhere. We have so much stuff as a family. I'm like, and I do like the clean, organized, perfect little spot, for sure. But I like them just being a part of it, experiencing it. And even just if anybody's out there who wants to involve their kids in different ways, obviously furnishing, that's one of them. Now my kids are editing stuff for me, which this is a whole new world that I have to be on this socials and all the things, but I'm trying. But it's so cool. They can edit in 3 seconds. And I asked my daughter, not 3 seconds, but you know what I mean, so much faster than I could. And I asked her, I was like, you made such a cute video. How long did that take? Or did you enjoy it? And she's like, oh yeah, it's easy for me. This is no big deal. I'm like, you're 14 and you can do this so quickly. But it's cool. I love to pay them to help work and do things. But I was going to say, for a part of being a part of properties. Like our kids each put together something in the house. So like a little dresser or some chairs, and they pitched in $25, and well, one did $25. I think the boys did 50. They each put in some of their own money to invest in the furniture, and then they helped us put it together. And then every month that property is booked, they make $25 or $50. And so really cool because they see the passive income. They're like, we worked hard to get it in the house, and now we just get the money. Now, I will say when my oldest partnered with us, he actually went in, this was temporary. He went in with rent with us as well, or paying the mortgage. And he built up some money. It was great. And then we had a little bit of vacancy, like a month of vacancy. And then he decided to buy a motorcycle and pull out his money. And it was one of those parenting moments where you're like, buddy, this is not wise, but this is you're over 18. And so, one of those hard lessons that you're like, I wouldn't pull out in this, because then, the next month we booked the property and I'm like, you just lost, it was like, whatever, $1,200 at that time. This is California. Our pricing is much higher than other areas, but he had to learn that on his own. And so, but now his talk is, okay, I have to save because I want to get a property. Although we're now talking outside of California, because I'm like, honey, this is just not attainable for you at this point. Not that I tell my kids they can't do something, but the down payment for a house in California is it's much more hefty. I'm like, you have to work so much more. He works for a company that takes boats out to the islands out here in California. And it's an amazing job. He loves it so much. But I'm like, you have to put in a lot of hours, bud, to make sure you're saving to get a home in California. But I just like that he's thinking about that. Like it's in his vocabulary. Like, yeah, I'm going to get a rental. And I love that he talks about it just like nonchalant. Like, yeah, when I get my rental, and it's no big deal. So I think it's but it's neat to watch them expand, for opportunities, and even just they're looking to get into the trades. And I think that's fantastic. I mean, yes, Jason and I went to college and got degrees, but I don't think that that's necessarily what everyone has to do now. So I think the trades are a great option. So I love that.
Well, speaking of that, we did not go to traditional college. We went to a Bible school, and he has the equivalent of an AA in law enforcement, but otherwise we don't have traditional degrees. And one thing that I know, since we were talking about cash flow, Robert Kiyosaki, is just to encourage other people who maybe don't. I have a brother who he took his GED. He didn't really barely finish high school, and same with Shayler. Like he finished early, just for life circumstances with his parents and his dad passing away.
But I came like crashing across that line. I did not want to be
he
there.
like barely. Yeah. But my
School
point
was
is,
not my thing.
I remember Robert Kiyosaki talking one time saying that A and B students, A student here, work for C and D students. That's C and D student here.
Yeah. And that he talks about how C and D students often just think very differently.
Yeah.
And many times there are entrepreneurial traits in there. And so I go, oh, that's how fitting is that? See?
I know. But to encourage people who, yes, I don't think that traditional school has to be your only route. There are definitely things that you can do so differently, especially in our culture today. Obviously trades is a huge thing right now because so many baby boomers who have businesses are going out of business or wanting to sell them. Not that they don't have work, they just don't want to do it anymore. They're getting older. So I know that that's a big thing right now as well.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I was recently in Ventura in downtown, and there was a car, and I don't know cars very well, but it was some super fancy car for sure, like probably over 100,000. And the license plate said, I had a 2.0. And I was like, love it. Like, it's so good. And you're right. A lot of the entrepreneurs weren't built for school. Like school, my kid's sitting in the desk. It's not his thing, but he's so active, and he's going to do both my boys. I'm like, you guys got so many skills. I'm excited to see what you do in life. So yeah, there's definitely different ways to go about working and finding things to do. So I love that. All right, let's jump one last thing. I just want to talk about where you guys are headed and kind of what what you're thinking about. What are you most excited about these days? I guess that's a question my husband always asks, and I love it so much.
You can go first.
Um, I know that we do want to get more houses. So obviously building our portfolio is one of them. There's I don't know, there's so many things that are on our heart right now. Missions has always been something that we've had on our heart, like a lifelong thing, short-term missions. So that's something that we've been actively pursuing, reaching out to connections and knocking on doors, and that this business has allowed us to be able to free up time so that we can do that and be able to take off and do those things when we want to. And I'm trying to think what are we excited about?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. I know he's like, you go first. Depending on when this airs, I may or may not have told my family, so forgive me. But we are going to be welcoming another child, so that will be.
so I was like, I'm not going to say it. We'll let her say it.
That is definitely something we're looking forward to than our next season, and so that will be different. Learning how to juggle a newborn with everything we have, but we obviously have time to be able to set that up.
Yeah.
We're definitely, like I said, looking for more houses, expanding in that, building our current businesses more.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what I was going to say. And she's doing, we're expanding on the design and furnishing side. We're taking on more clients. That's what our goal would be for this, this year and going into next year. Starting, the company we had started just like a few weeks ago in the cleaning side of things, because we deal with cleaners all the time. We're looking to expand that even more. Eventually, I told her I would like to hire a VA. She would have me hire a VA tomorrow if I could. But eventually, I will hire a VA so that it can handle the day-to-days. Because if the goal is to take the things that maybe we're not the greatest at and delegating that off so that you get your time back and you don't have to be knee deep into it all the time. So so we're kind of working on all fronts, but getting into more homes is really important to us as well.
Yeah. And I think that's the key thing right now. We know we're still in some of our quote unquote like building our foundation so that we can have more time freedom, more things that we can do. So right now there is a little bit more active work for us. But that doesn't mean that it's not attainable. So I think that's what we're looking forward to, is like, okay, let's put in a bunch of work the next few months, and then we can be able to step back even more when this baby comes, or be able to do different things.
And the thing I think I'm most excited about when it comes to that is we're doing it for ourselves, not for someone else's dream. So everything that we're doing right now is really aimed at bettering our family and creating more time for our family, which is more than worth the time that it takes to put in, even if it is really head down in the trenches for half a year or however long it takes to have even more time freedom. And we had a lot of it already with just the homes in general. But I've said it already one time before: when you're an entrepreneur, you see other problems and you try to fix those problems. And I can create a business out of this. I can do this, and so I'm starting to catch that entrepreneur fever probably too fast for her liking, but it's okay.
I love it. Well, first of all, congratulations on a new baby. That's so exciting. You guys are amazing parents, and I'm excited to meet another little one. So that's so fun. And as far as like the entrepreneurial spirit, I totally get that. Work is fun, and not everybody says that, but when you enjoy what you're doing, it's so fun and it's exciting. Like Jason teases me all the time, but I for sure I'm a weirdo, and I wake up with my brain like I'm waking up to Eye of the Tiger. Seriously, it's like dun, 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 dun. And that's just I'm just ready to get after it. And because working is fun to me, I know that's the song I actually walked up to. I played softball at San Diego State, and that was like my walk-up song. But I just think that's like my song in life. Like I just wake up like, okay, let's go. What are we doing? What fun thing are we doing? What work are we doing? But those all kind of mesh together now that what I do, like I'm so passionate about our business and our community and watching people just thrive. It's so exciting to me that I do wake up just like, let's go. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And then my wheels spinning that nonstop of ideas all the time. Most of them come in the shower because that's the quietest time in my life. And it's just like boom, 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 all these ideas. I'm actually slowing down and not distracting myself with podcasts or reading or my children. Not that they're distracting, but you know what I mean? Stuff going
Yeah.
on. But it's really fun to just kind of think through, pray about like, God, what do you want me to do next? All
Yeah.
these ideas keep coming. So I have like in my phone, a Kellie work brain, and then I have like just a Kellie brain. I just brain dump all of it. But or what you were talking about with an assistant, the greatest gift that I have been given, and Jackie helped hire Lily, my assistant, and she has been incredible. And I didn't, you don't know what you don't know. You don't realize like I can do all this stuff on my own. It's going to take me a very long time to do it because I have all these things that are going on, properties and vetted homes and my kids who I love and pour into, and my husband who I want to go on dates with and hang out with. But once I was able to hand over some of this stuff to Lily, it's been incredible what we've done in 2 months and the things that we've been able to implement because I can give her the idea and she spits it out so quickly. And, 3/4 of the time looking better than it would have if I did it. It's really neat. So Shayler, I'd say investigate that as fast as you can because all you're going to say is, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yes.
It's pretty amazing. And then, I've been challenged. Even we were on Jesse Vasquez's podcast last week and he was challenging Jason, my husband, saying like, because my sweet husband, he's incredible. He's amazing, but he knows the size of his plate. And I'm always like shoving things on, like, how about this? Here, put this on there. And he's like, mm-mm. He's really good at being like, nope, get that off. That's on your plate. If you want to have it piling over, great. I support you. But don't put things on mine that I don't need. And I say that jokingly, but he's incredibly helpful, but he's good at helping me stay focused and I call him my compass. Like he'll tell me like, that sounds awesome, but no, you need to focus it back here on this. And he always is right. I'm like, you have so much wisdom. It's amazing. But understanding, just the size of the plate that, what was that? Now I forgot what I was trying to get to with Jesse, but he was encouraging us, that's what it was, delegating more of it. He's like, if you have more VAs, then they're doing that stuff for you. So he was telling Jason, like, do the bigger things and hire the people to handle the things, other things. I feel like as I get older, I'm like, I am too old to do things that I hate doing. I really am. Like, I don't want that in my life. I'm like things that suck the joy out of me. I'm like, I don't want to do this. How can I delegate it? And so that's kind of been one of my goals is figuring out what can I take off that I don't love doing so that then the things that I love and bring me joy and the areas that I get to serve that truly like allow me to have joy, like the true joy that they talk about. Like that's what I desire. So anyways, I'm always like delegate to elevate. That's my cheesy.
No, it's
master
so true.
delegator.
Yes, it reminds me of something that someone told us a long time ago was like, don't get too good at the things that don't matter. Like everything we do in our day to day, right? Dishes, laundry, different tasks, all those things, like someone else can do that. But no one else can replace me as a mom. No one else can replace him as a dad. And so we're totally on the same page. That's where I'm like, okay, right now we're in the building phase, so then we can like delegate.
As soon as we can, VA it out.
Yeah.
But it's so important. Like we have this thing called a brick in our house. And my son actually is the one who he bought it for himself. He realized like, I'm really distracted by the phone and I need to get my schoolwork done. And so the brick, it's like a little device that you can put on your refrigerator and you can set which apps to lock out at a certain time. So, and then you can't reuse those apps until you tap it again. Here's a plug for Brick. I don't know, Brick, if you want to sponsor this video, but these things are incredible. But he would leave it on the fridge. And when he'd head to school, he would brick his phone and then it would shut off, whatever the distracting apps that he has. And then when he'd come home, he could put it back on. But anyways, I just think that's so cool. I love it. Yeah. Figuring out how to just focus on the things that matter in your life that you want to work on.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, you guys have been such a joy to have on. Is there anything else you want to share? Oh, sorry. See, here's the ADD brain I'm showing you. I need to brick my brain sometimes and turn off certain areas. But I was going to say, I want to hear about how we can promote your businesses. Do you guys have a way that people can contact you if they're interested? Is that something you're opening up to people?
Yeah.
You don't have to.
We're currently working on a website for the
Okay.
design business. So right now, it really is just word of mouth through our school community. And the cleaning business, we do have a website. You know the website.
Yeah, it's hirewellspring.com.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
WELL spring.
yeah, like a spring.
Like a spring.
And that one's local to our DFW area.
Yeah.
Like our
we're
Dallas
keeping it
side.
local right now. Eventually, as I grow this market, the beautiful thing about that is I can take it remotely and put it in any other market that I really see is growing and has a need, and hire local cleaners there and take care of that market too. So, but the goal as of right now, we're
It's
sticking
just
to
local to DFW.
Awesome. I love it. Well, I'm inspired by you guys. I already have like ideas swirling because I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I love listening to all the things that you guys are doing. So thanks so much for being a part of the Vetted Homes community, for pouring yourselves into it, for encouraging other people, and honestly, for listening to what Jason and Jackie and my Jason and I have taught you guys and implementing it, because information's everywhere, but implementing it, people aren't always the action takers. And so you guys have really done that well. And I love seeing your success. And thanks for sharing it with our community and now the whole World Wide Web. Is that what it's even called nowadays?
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys as well.
Love you guys.